Hello and welcome to Dental Studies Simplified. I am Dr. Arkita Kotecha and today's topic is how to record a furcation involvement. The armamentarium required to record furcation involvement is different from those required for gingival enlargement and gingival recession. There we used simple basic instruments, that is a mouth mirror and periodontal probe. But here for the furcation involvement we require special instrument, special probe, that is Neighbors probe, which is curved tip. Clear? This curved tip enables us to assess the furcation. Before going to discussion on the classification and the technique to record furcation, let us have a brief discussion on the anatomy of furcation. Basically, what is a furcation? Furcation is the region between the bifurcation of the roots, or in maxillary molar, the trifurcation of the roots. Clear? This is the furcation area. Here 3 furcation areas, and in mandibular 2 furcations area, that is buccal and lingual. Here we have in between mesiobuccal and distobuccal root, between mesiobuccal and palatal root, and between distobuccal and palatal root. Clear? These are the furcation area, the area between the bifurcation or trifurcation of a multi-rooted tooth. So now that we understand what is a furcation, now we will discuss how to assess furcation. So there are various classifications available for furcation involvement, but the most commonly utilized and implemented is given by Glickman in the year 1953. Basically, any furcation involvement has a horizontal component or dimension and a vertical component and dimension, and the various classifications available are based on either horizontal component or vertical component or both. But Glickman's classification is mainly based on horizontal component, and we still follow Glickman's classification given in the year 1953. He has classified furcation involvement into 4 grades: grade 1, 2, 3 and 4. Mainly Glickman has considered horizontal component, that is the interradicular bone level. Remember, I am not talking about interdental bone but the interradicular bone, that is in between the roots. Clear? We are talking about this bone level and not in between the teeth, that is interdental. Clear? So to begin with, grade 1 has only suprabony pocket. That is, when we probe the teeth, we have only vertical dimension to it, which has reached the furcation area but not entered the furcation area. That is, there is no horizontal dimension to it. No horizontal component, because the interradicular bone loss is not present there. The interradicular bone is intact. No interradicular bone loss. That is why no horizontal component. Very simple. Grade 1 is only suprabony defect. Now you must be wondering, then what is the difference between a routine ordinary probing depth that we assess in a case and this suprabony pocket? The difference is this suprabony pocket has reached the furcation opening. The only limitation is it did not enter the furcation region, that is in the horizontal direction, but vertically it was able to reach the furcation opening, and that is why it has been classified into grade 1, that is it has reached the furcation here. But if you try to penetrate the probe in the horizontal direction, that is into the furcation region, it won't penetrate because this bone is intact. And this is evident on radiographs as well. There are various methods to assess furcation involvement. We are discussing the clinical assessment, but clinical assessment is always supplemented or in adjunct with radiographs. Clear? So if we take radiograph of a grade 1 furcation involvement, according to Glickman, we will find intact interradicular bone, that is absolutely no bone loss in the interradicular region, which gives zero horizontal dimension. Clear? So the feature of grade 1 furcation involvement is only a supra-bony pocket. Okay? Coming to grade 2, now it has a horizontal component as well. The horizontal component is partial. That is interradicular bone loss present but not through and through. This is the criteria, not through and through. That is, let's say if we are talking about mandibular tooth, there will be bone loss but it won't be through and through. That is, if you enter the probe from the buccal furcation, it won't come out from the lingual furcation because the interradicular bone is partially present on either aspect. Let's say if it is buccal involvement, then the radicular bone, that is interradicular bone, is present on the lingual furcation aspect, and vice versa. That is, if lingual furcation is involved, that is, if we pass our neighbor's probe from the lingual furcation in a horizontal direction, the buccal bone is intact. The interradicular bone on the buccal aspect is intact. In either case, the probe will not pass through and through from both the furcations in one go with our neighbor's probe. Clear? This is the concept behind grade 2. That is, interradicular bone loss has begun, but it is not through and hence our probe will be penetrating partially. Partial probe penetration. So the first will be our pocket and followed by a horizontal dimension which has now started to add from grade 2 onwards. In grade 1, horizontal component was absent because of intact interradicular bone. No interradicular bone loss in grade 1. But in grade 2, interradicular bone loss present but not through and through. Clear? Now talking about grade 3, it is now total penetration of the probe because the interradicular bone loss is complete. So, total interradicular bone loss, that is through and through. So now in case of grade 3, if we pass neighbor's probe from either of the furcation, it will definitely come out from the other furcation. Let's say if we start the penetration of our probe from buccal furcation in mandibular molars, it will come out from the lingual furcation. And vice versa. That is, if we start our penetration of neighbor's probe from lingual furcation, it will come out from the buccal furcation. That is total interradicular bone loss. Here, the bone loss is complete. So, on the radiograph, we will see a clear bone loss defect. Coming to grade 4, the furcation involvement is similar to grade 3, that is total probe penetration owing to complete interradicular bone loss and through penetration of the probe. So now the question arises, what is the difference between grade 3 and grade 4? The difference between grade 3 and grade 4 is the level of the soft tissue, that is our gingiva. In case of grade 3, the furcation involvement is covered by gingiva, that is our gingiva is present here. It is covered with the gingiva and hence the furcation involvement is not visible clinically. Although total penetration of the probe through and through penetration, but the furcation is not visible clinically. Whereas in case of grade 4, there is gingival recession with the furcation involvement and hence this furcation defect is exposed and is visible clinically. So, in case of grade 4, the additional feature is the gingival recession, which exposes the furcation involvement or the furcation defect, the through and through defect, but additionally clinically visible. This is the main difference between grade 3 and grade 4. We will have a quick summary of this classification highlighting the differences. Grade 1 has only suprabony pocket. Please remember, no horizontal component, that is interradicular bone is intact, grade 1. Now comes the main difference between grade 1 and the rest of the grades, that is interradicular bone loss begins from grade 2 onwards. Clear? Grade 2 is interradicular bone loss present but only partial, that is not through and through. This is the main difference between grade 1 and the rest of the grades, and between grade 1 and grade 2, the amount of interradicular bone loss. Here no interradicular bone loss, here partial interradicular bone loss, that is not through and through. Now talking about the difference between grade 2 and grade 3, the interradicular bone loss is now total, in contrast to partial or some amount of. That is from not through and through, it has progressed to through and through. That is from partial probe penetration to total probe penetration. This is the difference between grade 2 and grade 3. And the difference between grade 3 and grade 4 is gingival recession, which makes the furcation involvement clinically visible. This is the only difference between grade 3 and grade 4. Talking about how to assess the furcation involvement clinically is clinical assessment by applying any one of the classifications, here in this case Glickman's classification, followed by radiographs to confirm our findings, because we all know clinical probing is always associated with some amount of error, be it instrument error or human error, but an error component is always associated with probing, and hence to rule out any errors, we will take radiographs of the affected zone, that is the furcation involved tooth, to get the furcation findings on the radiographs. So, as per the protocol, clinical examination followed by radiographic examination of furcation involvement. So, we will discuss all the 4 grades as per the Glickman's classification. So, grade 1, we will see only suprabony pocket. Grade 1 is suprabony pocket and no bone loss in the interradicular region. That means the bone in the interradicular region is intact. And hence on the radiograph no findings as such, because the interradicular bone is intact. We have only soft tissue component in grade 1, that is a suprabony pocket approaching the furcation opening but not involved with bone loss. Clear? This is grade 1, and hence when we insert our neighbor's probe, it will reach only the entrance, will not be able to enter it because there is no bone loss in the interradicular region. This is the clinical finding and radiographic finding of grade 1. Coming to grade 2, which has partial bone loss in the interradicular region, and hence the probe will penetrate partially and not through and through. That means there is a pocket which has entered the furcation. Clear? Partial bone loss means, let's say, just the partial bone loss to certain extent. So on radiograph we will see a diminished density of bone in that region, and rest where it will be normal density. So you can appreciate partial bone loss in the furcation, and hence clinically our neighbor's probe will be able to enter the furcation partially. That is partial bone loss in the interradicular region. These are the clinical and radiographic features of grade 2. Coming to grade 3, there is complete bone loss in the interradicular region, and hence the pocket and entering the furcation, which will be through and through. So on radiograph it will be total bone loss in the furcation and interradicular region, which is through and through. So a clear triangular furcation arrow will be visible for grade 3, and our furcation arrow is detectable clinically as with the neighbor's probe via total penetration of the probe. Be it from any side that you enter, it will be a through and through penetration. Clear? But the difference between grade 3 and grade 4 is the soft tissue level. Here the soft tissue level has covered the furcation. That means the furcation involved is not visible clinically, whereas in grade 4 the furcation involved is visible clinically, and so our pocket will enter the furcation and go through and through. That is, with our neighbor's probe It is a through and through penetration from either side, and on radiograph it will show total bone loss in the interradicular region. These are the features clinically and radiographically for all the 4 grades of Glickman's classification. This is the routine protocol. There are many other methods, many other specialized techniques available, but routinely this is the protocol. Clinical assessment by Neighbors probe and applying any one of the classifications, whichever is implemented in your institution, in your clinical setup. For us it was Glickman's classification, and followed by radiographs. So this completes the topic furcation involvement. I hope the topic, the technique to assess the furcation involvement, the classification to record the furcation involvement is clear to you all. Please let me know if you follow any other classification or method to assess or record the furcation involvement, and if you want me to discuss the same, please bring it to my notice by commenting it down below in the comment section below or mailing me at my email ID dentalstudiessimplified@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and listening to me. Study well, have a good day, stay safe.